It looks like everyone's coming out of the woodwork with this whole Diddy situation, and leading the charge is Blu Cantrell, who's allegedly got some juicy inside info about the connection between Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy. You know, there were always rumors back in the day that she had something going on with Jay-Z.
I really like him though, and I don't care who he's dating. I always had a crush on him, you know.
If he came in right now and we were all not here.
What?
I'm just saying, you're in New York.
Yeah, okay, and what
If you ran into him and everything was right, would you make that play?
I wouldn't turn it down. Let's just put it that way. But you can't just go around just, sleeping with God.
Honey, the last time anyone heard from Blu Cantrell publicly was way back in 2012, when reports surfaced that she'd been taken to a hospital in Santa Monica for a psychological evaluation. Witnesses claimed they saw her on the street screaming that someone had poisoned her with gas, and things got so intense, the police had to intervene. After that, she vanished. No explanation, no follow-up, just gone. Now, here's where it gets interesting. At the peak of her fame, rumors were swirling that Blu had a romantic connection with Jay-Z. It was never officially confirmed, but the whispers were loud enough to stir the pot. And let's be real, especially back then in the entertainment industry, getting too close to certain power players could either skyrocket your career or shut it down completely. In Blu's case, it seems her career came to a screeching halt, and allegedly the three key figures tied to her downfall: Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy.
But who I really want to talk to is Blu Cantrell. So this is my public appeal. Blu. The first Blu. Not they daughter Blu. Blu Cantrell. You were singing, fool. And you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't. Blu, it's time to talk. It's time for you to sing again. Because I know you still got the chops. You got the gift. Just like me. Jay-Z worked very hard to erase you and me. Just like he did Elle. Just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly. Just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah. Blu, it's time to talk.
The real question is, could Diddy have had something to do with Blu Cantrell's sudden fade from the limelight? Given his tight ties to both Jay-Z and Beyoncé, it's worth asking, was Blu intentionally silenced, quietly erased from the industry? Or was it the result of a perfect storm, mental health struggles, behind-the-scenes industry politics, and personal trauma that ultimately pushed her out? And now, the streets are buzzing because word is, Blu is singing like a bird. Allegedly, she's got things to say about Beyoncé that are raising eyebrows. For those who may not know, Blu Cantrell was once that girl in the R&B world. She had one of the most unforgettable voices of the early 2000s, and she hit the scene hard. Blu once shared that she got discovered in the most unexpected way. She was out with her sister when a man approached her and said, "You look like a singer." As it turned out, she was a singer. The guy brought her to Red Zone Entertainment, and once they heard her sing, they signed her on the spot. She was that good. So good, in fact, that multiple labels were fighting to sign her. Eventually, she landed with Arista Records and delivered back-to-back hits like Hit 'Em Up Style and Breathe. She carved out her own lane and had fans convinced she was on the path to a legendary career. Anyone who was around at the time knows, Blu was destined to be a star. So tell me why, in 2004, Arista Records just forgot to renew her contract. How does a label forget to re-sign one of its most talented artists? Around that time, Blu also realized that during her time at Arista, she hadn't made nearly as much money as she should have. In an interview with You Know I Got Soul, she admitted that she wished she'd had someone to guide her. She said, I would have got my own lawyer because that lawyer ended up representing them, which was a conflict of interest. So they were all working together to basically take what was mine. Nobody really knows the whole truth but me and them, but I was really taken advantage of. Then she disappeared. The next time her name hit headlines was in 2012, when reports claimed she was taken to a hospital in Santa Monica for a psychological evaluation. Witnesses said she was seen in the street yelling that someone had poisoned her with gas. The episode escalated until police had to step in. What really happened? Well, rumors have always swirled that Jay-Z had something to do with it. There were long-standing whispers about a romantic connection between Blu and Jay-Z. She denied it publicly, saying there was nothing between them, but she did admit to Wendy Williams that she had a major crush on him.
Did she really have him locked down?
I think so. I think they're in love. I think they're in love.
Politics speaking.
No, I really do think they're in love. I have a big crush on him, though. I'll tell you that much.
Did you
Still have a crush on him? No.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. No, I'm really selective about it.
What?
Really. I really like him, though. And I don't care who he's dating. I always had a crush on him, though.
If he came in right now and we were all not here.
What?
I'm just saying, you're in New York.
Yeah, okay. And what
If you ran into him and everything was right, would you make that play?
I wouldn't turn it down. Let's just put it that way. But you can't just go around just, sleeping with guys.
Regardless of what's confirmed, there's always been heavy speculation about how Jay-Z really felt about Blu Cantrell. Some even claim that he was so in love with her at one point, he convinced Beyoncé to name their first child Blu. On top of that, it's been said that Blu Cantrell is the reason Jay-Z's favorite color is, you guessed it, blue. Back in the early 2000s, Blu and Beyoncé's solo careers were rising simultaneously, and naturally there was some quiet competition. And according to long-standing whispers in the industry, the way things worked with the Carters was simple. Anyone who posed a threat to Beyoncé's shine had to be sidelined, period. There was even a time when Blu pointed out how Beyoncé and Jay-Z's Bonnie and Clyde music video looked suspiciously similar to the visuals for her own single Roundup, which had come out first. And let's not forget, Blu and Sean Paul had a massive hit together. Then not long after, Beyoncé released Baby Boy, also featuring Sean Paul. The timing definitely raised eyebrows. Some fans also believe Beyoncé subtly referenced Blu and their rumored tension in her song Signs when she whispered, "I was in love with a Sagittarius. I've been hurt by a Pisces." For context, Jay-Z is a Sagittarius and Blu Cantrell is a Pisces. The math is mathing. The rumor has always been that Blu made Beyoncé feel threatened and that Beyoncé made sure Blu was removed from the picture. But now people are saying that to make that happen, Beyoncé may have enlisted the help of the one man with the alleged power to clean up problems in the industry, Diddy. Let's be real, y'all have been saying it for years. There's no way Beyoncé and Jay-Z could be that close to Diddy for 2 decades. Business partners, party guests, vacation buddies, family friends, and not know what he was allegedly involved in. And reportedly, Cassie's original lawsuit actually implicated them both. Sources claim Cassie's lawsuit was initially over 60 pages long, but it was trimmed to 35 before being filed. And in those missing pages, allegedly there was a lot about Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Word is, they were named as witnesses to an incident where Diddy allegedly struck Cassie and pushed her down at one of his infamous parties. And while many have assumed Jay-Z was the one entangled in Diddy's alleged activities, others believe it's actually Beyoncé who's been calling the shots all along. If you ask someone like 50 Cent, he's gone on record saying Beyoncé is the real power player, and Jay-Z is only where he is today because of a contract that ensured Beyoncé's participation in the highest levels of Hollywood business. Bottom line, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye, and Blu Cantrell might just be the missing piece that makes it all click.
Look at even Jay-Z's career. You can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about the trophies. I said, I'll get the checks. Right? And because what I was saying, the content was raw enough, like, and who I am.
Child, that would mean she's probably even deeper in the Diddy madness than her dear husband. Another wild claim I've heard more than once. That Beyoncé is actually the most powerful high priestess in the music industry, and that anyone who wants to make major moves, including Diddy himself, has to go through her.
Number two, as you guys know, Beyoncé is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high-ranking witch.
When it comes to the ritual allegations, one name that always pops up is Kimberly Thompson. She actually filed a restraining order against Beyoncé, claiming that Bey was using spells to tap her phone and controlled her finances, all as part of a calculated campaign to keep her under constant surveillance. Kimberly didn't hold back. She even blamed Beyoncé for the loss of several jobs, stolen homes, the death of her pet kitten, and a string of broken relationships, among other serious accusations.
I think
She went and killed the girl cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. No snacking on his bitch. Killing cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too.
Let's not forget about the lawsuit filed by Chinaz Monroe against The Dream. In her suit, she alleged that just days after beginning to work with him, The Dream started pressuring her into sleeping with him, claiming it was part of the process. She described one disturbing incident where they were working at a house with a studio, and he allegedly locked her in a dark room and wouldn't stop aggressively initiating sexual contact until she told him she loved him. The allegations get even darker, eerily echoing some of the patterns we've seen in the Diddy cases. Chinaz claimed that The Dream put her up in an Atlanta hotel, had his security team monitor her movements, and would berate her if she didn't check in with him regularly. But here's where Beyoncé enters the conversation. According to the lawsuit, The Dream allegedly credited Beyoncé's success to the spiritual sanctuary they shared, a deep, almost ritualistic bond that allowed him to write songs for her on a level no one else could. Chinaz claimed that The Dream told her this sanctuary with Beyoncé was even more powerful than a spousal relationship because it was rooted in art and demanded full vulnerability, sharing every secret and thought to become trust partners. The energy, according to her, was giving serious ritualistic vibes. And it doesn't stop there. Others once close to Jay-Z and Beyoncé, like Larry Johnson, have also come forward with claims that the couple uses dark forces to maintain their position at the top of the industry.
It's obviously they've been controlled by Satanism. I mean, I'm not really scared to say that. We all know Luciferians, Freemasons, and all occult knowledge that was drugged up from Egypt have now surfaced itself in American society. And if you actually dig through the raps like as I have, before it was all about partying, popping bottles, but when you listen to it again with a new ear, obviously they're not serving the same most high God that I am. And that's what makes us enemies, that I stand for a completely different doctrine, a completely different nation, and a completely different truth than he does. I don't have any materialism attached to my spirit or soul anymore. I don't have fornication attached to my spirit anymore. I mean, I just got engaged July, so my life is completely different from how I was with women in the early 2000s. And I think that is the difference in itself of being involved with Rockaware has made me see something completely different, and knowing who his allegiance is with is not the Most High God. And we all know,
When it comes to the rumors about Beyoncé being involved in ritualistic practices, let's be real. Those whispers have been circulating for years. The only missing piece, whether she was working with Diddy on any of this creepy behavior, but if the streets are to be believed, Blu Cantrell allegedly has the tea. And baby, I'm keeping my ears wide open for whatever she's about to drop. So tell me, what do you think Blue knows? Was her exit from the industry orchestrated by Beyoncé? Was Diddy involved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear it all.